Hello all, welcome to our channel. Have you ever thought how children learn, think, interact and respond emotionally to those around them? Understanding child psychology plays an important role in every parent's life. How can we understand child psychology and their mental health? How can we help children handle frustration will be our well-being guide for this episode. Understanding your child is one of the most important things that you should learn as a parent. It is very helpful in becoming effective in guiding and nurturing your child as they grow and mature. You need to bear in mind that your child has a unique personality trait that remains consistent throughout life. One of the ways you can understand your child is by observing them as they sleep, eat, or play. Look for the consistent traits. Which activities do they like the best? Is adjusting to changes easy for them? Or do they need time to become familiar with these things? These things are the normal characteristics of a child, and your child may not be an exception. As much as possible, have time to talk to your children, as this is crucial to gaining information and understanding. In the case of young children, they require less verbal language and more facial expression and body language in order to understand their thoughts and feelings. Asking them questions will allow them to share their feelings to you. They typically reach developmental milestones. These milestones reflect abilities such as walking and talking that are reached by most children at similar ages. Self-esteem is a major key to success in life. The development of a positive self-concept or healthy self-esteem is extremely important to the happiness and success of our children and teenagers. A positive parent-child relationship provides the framework and support for a child to develop a healthy respect and regard for self and for others. Children crave time with parents. It makes them feel special. Parents are encouraged to find time to spend playing with their kids on a regular basis. This should include one-to-one with each child and group time with all of the adults and kids in the home. For one reason or another, some children do not develop social skills as easy as others. They may earnestly seek peer relationships and then, having endured rebuffs, if not downright cruelty, retreat to the safety of home, family, and their own company. There is probably nothing so painful for a parent as the rejection of his child. Parents need to take the long view of social problems and to map out a plan to solve them quite as carefully and thoughtfully as they would consider academic or health problems. Coming to the other part of this episode on helping our kids to deal with frustration. What is your response when your child is frustrated? Does your child's frustration lead to your own frustration? Let's say you are in a hurry to get out the door to go somewhere and your child is having trouble getting ready or they are just not ready to go. How are you feeling? Are you becoming emotionally upset? How might you react to your child continuing to say, "I just can't get this," after you have spent 20 minutes trying to help her with a set of math problems? From day one, how you as a parent respond to your child when they are upset will shape their ability to self-regulate. If a parent tells a child who is crying to Stop crying. Get over it, or it's no big deal. The child is likely to remain upset. Yelling at a child or telling him to go to his room until he calms down does nothing to help him learn to self regulate or control his emotions, and usually leads to repetition and even an escalation of overreacting to frustrating circumstances. Picking up a baby when they're crying will lead to the baby to stop crying when she sees or hears her parent. Hugging and sharing with a toddler and providing reassurance when they are upset helps them to calm down. With older children, you can then encourage them to use words to express their feelings. When parents repeatedly ignore or respond negatively or punitively to a child when they are emotionally upset, as the child develops, he or she will likely overreact to frustrating situations more frequently and more intensely. When you are confronted by a crying baby or an upset child, the first thing is for you to regroup and remain calm. Take a few deep breaths, help most people. When you can respond calmly and neutrally, you will help your child because they are unconsciously picking up on your calmness, which in turn will cause the nervous system to calm down. Your baby will feel secure. You will then use the movement to help an older child learn skills such as deep breathing, reframing, looking at the situation in a more positive light, as well as using words to convey their thoughts and feelings. A parent may assume their child is choosing to cry, yell, or stomp their feet rather than use words. What is more likely the case is the child hasn't developed an adequate emotional vocabulary. A meltdown may be the perfect time to teach your child appropriate ways to state how they are feeling. Once a child can tell you why they are feeling that way, you can help them learn to problem solve and or become able to accept some situations even though they do like them to be different. The more time parents spend helping their child develop coping with skills, the less time they will spend responding to emotional outbursts. This will then enable you to help them express their needs to others. It also opens up the opportunity to begin to help your child to attune to the needs of others. Listening to your child doesn't mean that you will give in or grant their every wish, but it does help them to feel accepted and more open to listening to you. So you can teach them coping with skills including emotional regulation, problem solving, as well as empathy and understanding of others. Here are a few basic tips. Number 1. Take a few deep breaths and or count silently to 10 if you are feeling upset. Number 2. Look at your child and pay attention to any emotional clues including body language, tone of voice and words if they are using them. And number 3. Calmly validate their feelings by saying, I see you are angry, mad, upset, disappointed, sad, etc. Next, try to understand why they are upset. If you are not sure, you might say, tell me what is making you upset. If they can't tell you, state your observation by saying, it looks to me like you are upset because of spoiled doll. With younger children, this may be the time to say, I am sorry you are upset, and then redirect by saying, oh, look at the new book, I bet you can enjoy with it also. For older children, you may have to be assertive and say, I know that is making you feel sorrow, but like this explain or state the reason as to why their desire is not realistic. In some cases, problem solving may be an appropriate approach. taking time to teach basic coping skills for toddlers and older children is in order. That's all for this episode, friends. Hope you will enjoy this video. Please comment and like the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos.